Philly fan. Philly fan.
We in here with two of the members of the legendary Naam Brigade. Nah, man, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people real quick, man.
What's up? We got Ice the super producer in here, you know.
Alright, you got your boy Sonny Black / Maserati Sonny in the building.
You know.
That's how we gonna do it. What's up?
Early. So a lot of people know y'all, you know, from mainly, I ain't gonna say mainly, but, you know, one of y'all big records that everybody recognizes, the Early in the Game joint, where you bring up Naam Brigade. That's one of the first things that come to the mind because it was a big record, had a big impact in the city, crazy videos on BET, MTV, stuff like that.
Right.
So, you know, Freeway was one of the people on there. He was rocking at the time, Rockefeller. He had a crazy wave. So let's get to that. Like, speak a little bit on how that record came together and how that changed the whole situation for y'all.
Streets on smash, clubs on smash, chicks we gon' smash. Early in the game. And we got flows who want drama. We with that lead, cat smash. Early in the game.
Well, that record came together. It was actually we were signed to Artists Records at the time. Ted Fields, billionaire, who founded Interscope, partners with Jimmy Iovine. He left there, started a label, Artists Direct. So at that time, that's the label that we were signed on. Early in the Game record was actually one of the last records that we did. Troy Carter, you know, Troy Carter is like real big with the Spotify, and he managed Eve and Freeway at the time. And you know, he was always out front even before that. You know, he came in as executive producer of the album. And we was also on Tough Break at the time, you know, the Forster Brothers. But anyway, to stick to that subject, that record came about, we was staying out Cali for about 9 months. Then we came back to Philly, and we just wanted to do a couple more records, so we pulled in a producer, Hot Runner, who did Yeah That's Us for Major Figures. He produced that record. So it was, you know, that's how it came about. We did that at Rasheed Wallace's studio in South Philly, and he had a studio down there. So that
Personal relationship, basically, right. Yeah. You know what I mean? He that's our little bro, and he had what he had going on. We had what we had going on. It was just perfect timing to get that record done. You know that.
What was so crazy about that record is at that time. Meek at that time was wanted for a homicide. You remember that?
Right.
So as we in the session recording the record, a couple of our homies came from the neighborhood, and we just thought it was some type of joke or something. They said that they just seen Meek on the news. You know what I'm saying? And he's wanted for a homicide. So we like, the fuck out of here, you know. He played it like he ain't know what was going on, you know what I'm saying? And later come to find out, you know, all that was true. But yeah, all that happened around the same time making that record. Yeah.
So the original group was actually y'all two with Rambo, and also your other partner, which was Q Dime.
Right.
That was the original group.
Right. That's
Naam Brigade when the transition to
Right. So when y'all transitioned to Naam Brigade, that's when Meek Mills came along.
Right.
So prior to y'all transitioning, we was talking off camera, y'all was explaining it to me like how y'all man Q Dime had ended up in a situation where, you know, he ended up, you know, being tragically killed.
Right.
And that was a week before y'all album was supposed to come out.
Right. Yo, we just completed the album. We was recording in VA with the producer Bink, Humble Monster. He did a lot of the records on the Dynasty project. Yeah, so we had records with Timberland, Missy, Eve, Little Mo at that time on Elektra. So we finished the album like on a Friday, and we come back to Philly like on a Saturday, and he was tragically killed on like a Tuesday at a club called Evolutions. So at that time we was on Elektra Records. So that album never came out, you know what I mean? And we had some classics on that. That's what we do, you know what I mean? We make big records.
Right. So because that album was done and set to be released, But then the situation with Q Dine happened, the album actually never came out.
Never came out, no.
Right.
So, and y'all explained it to me off camera, like what actually happened behind the scenes with some of the records that's on this, because y'all wasn't able to put it out, those songs still came out, but with other artists.
Right.
So speak a little bit on that situation.
Well, we was signed to Elektra, and it was a guy, Jay Brown. That's like Jay-Z, little brother. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, he was working with us on, on the record at Elektra. And All I Need was one of the records. That was like supposed to be like our second single. And Lights, Camera, Action, that Lost Boys used, would have been our first single. You know what I mean? We had Eve featuring on that record as well. So they was always big on that record. You know what I'm saying? But then after the death of Q9, they was able to acquire that record. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that record did some big things, sold 6 million, but them checks still rolling in, so it's all good. You know what I mean?
Alright, so we gotta get into this a little bit, because I just want to clear that for the people that's doing them, or bring them up to speed a little bit. So y'all started off as Task Force.
Yes.
Then y'all transitioned to Naam Brigade.
Right.
And y'all ended up getting a deal signed to Elektra.
Right.
Which was a major label at the time. I don't know if they still around. I don't think they still around no more. But at the time, they was, a major label.
Exactly.
Then y'all had your album done.
Right.
And then it was slated to release.
Right.
But then one of y'all key members, a major part of y'all situation, that happened with him. So then y'all kind of parted ways with Elektra, and the album never came out.
Right.
So then Jay-Z gets a hold of one of y'all records and
Right.
make it one of his records.
Right.
And Mr. Cheeks take the other one to make one of his records.
Right.
So
first and second single.
Oh, right. So did they take like the hook and the verse? Like explain that. Like what part? Like did they switch up? They use the same exact beat? Did they keep y'all lyrics and stuff on there as well?
Well, as far as Mr. Cheeks, he did his own lyrics, but the whole beat was our. You know what I mean? We had that exact beat first.
Okay.
Now with Jay-Z kept the same concept in the title, which was All I Need. It was on a blueprint. The blueprint, song 11 on the blueprint. So, that was like, he wrote his own lyrics, but he kept the whole concept in the whole format on how we did the record. So, in that retrospect, how we ain't great with the God MC, you know what I'm saying? Like something that we created, enough that he wanted to use it, you know what I mean? So that's how that went. But I would like to say we took it as an honor, you know what I'm saying? We ain't take it as, like how people put out like as he stole it, you know what I'm saying? He's a great artist himself, so I don't say he stole it. It was just something that, he liked and he was able to acquire it, but we was able to get our rights for it, so it's all good.
So y'all had your business right, which a lot of artists don't, cause Jay-Z has been notorious. We heard stories about a lot of, allegedly songs and hooks and concepts he took from people that they ain't necessarily benefit off of, but y'all was able to, have your business correct and was able to get royalties off of it and stuff like that.
I ain't gonna get too far into that, but I ain't gonna say take, because like what he said, it's kind of an honor, like when people do. You think about this though, we used to wear chains around our waist, right? And we was get ready signed with Flavor Unit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're around Flavor Unit, Tretch. Next thing you know, Tretch got the chain. He broke down, like people used to ask us what the chains for. We like, this is for our homies and everybody that's locked down in the ghetto. We representing that. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, he asked us that.
No, I'm saying that was our. Right, said, then when he asked us,
Tretch touched the chain. He was like, "Your chain around his waist." He said, "What do this mean?" We said, "This for our homies on lockdown." He was like, "Oh, okay." Then you seen it. It's on.
Yeah. And then you see the interview.
Right.
What is the chain for?
Right.
Oh, this is my homies for lockdown.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of used to some of our talents.
Look, that's the thing though. This one thing we learned from it though. There's a difference when somebody admires you. Cause Tretch, I'm gonna speak for him. That's really our nigga. He really fuck with us. But at the same time, being young, we like, damn, motherfucker took our chain. You know what I mean? But just but at the same time, you like, man, no. And we all, for real, we honestly thought we was all gonna be together. You know what I mean? Rolling with the flavor unit. Misfortunes happen with that, but you know, it is what it is.
But it's still part of our success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Seeing him win with it, and then seeing people later get the chains iced out and all that. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that came from us, it was still success in it. Same with the Jay-Z record. Like I used to see people or hear people riding by banging the record. You know what I'm saying? I still felt a part of that because we was a part of it.
So then y'all get to the Early in the Game single. The Early in the Game album comes out. Right. So give them the story from there.
Oh well, you know the.
Oh my bad, pause. So my bad. Cut you off. So Meek gets locked up for that homicide.
Right.
Why y'all out doing y'all thing? So y'all already experienced one of y'all members getting killed.
Right.
Now y'all experiencing one of y'all members in jail.
Right.
So speak on the transition from there while he locked up and y'all trying to move forward with y'all stuff from there.
Well, it was that was crazy because we had to do the whole video on the run,
on the sneak tip.
You know what I'm saying? And when you think about that, it would have been way bigger for the city if we could have did the video in the hood. That was a big budget video. We didn't even find out where we was doing the video until a day.
You had to keep it as, listen, it was the feds. You can think about, we at the airport and you can see feds looking at us with binoculars. Like that shit was crazy. We like, look at them. You gotta think, they came to my house, they came to all our houses, you know, looking for me. And you know, we ain't know what me. I basically told him, he ain't gonna tell nobody where he's at. He ain't gonna put nobody in that shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know where he at, nobody knew where he's at. But still at the same time, while we Gary shoot the video and we making moves, like we had to go, I think we was going to LA. That's when we saw him in the car with the binoculars. Then you see where they was shining shoes at, FBI agent right there. The same ones came to my crib. And we like, damn, this shit crazy. Like, it got real crazy for him. So we like with the video, we probably knew 24 hours exactly, like where we was gonna shoot it at.
And that was in Jersey.
That was us.
Right.
That knew 24 hours. Everybody else probably knew like 12 hours, like where we gonna shoot it at.
Yeah, so we had to do it in Jersey City, and you know, for the city that like we took a hit for that, not being able to be in the city and the city really seeing what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? We had to hide and do that video. So that whole situation, we did feel an impact from that, as far as, you know, here in the city, definitely.
Okay. So some years pass and Meek Millz come home. So at this point, you know, some time passed. I guess I don't know exactly when he came home, but I know at some point when he was home, you know, he started going at Meek Millz that everybody know as Meek Mill today. They had a little riff or whatever. He was doing some interviews and some blogs, and you know, was basically going at him. So speak on like, you know, how that impacted you guys who, you know, wasn't in none of the blogs, but you know, because y'all was connected to him. Like, speak on how that affected y'all as a group.
Well, first of all, Reed Dollars was going through it with Meek at the time. You know, Meek is out now, MMG Meek, Dream Chaser. And, you know, he kind of reached out to, you know, Meek that, you know, from our camp to they was battling back and forth. You know, they was going through their own thing. It put a weight and a lot of stress on us because at the end of the day, we didn't have no hatred towards the Meek. You know what I'm saying? When Meek first came home, Meek, he had a chance to keep it real. He had a chance to fend for his name. But him just beating a homicide, he was deaning real hard. When he first came home, he wasn't thinking about rapping. So that was like 05. By 07, young Meek is rolling. You understand what I'm saying? So by the time he get back on his horse and he want to rap, Meek then established himself as that artist. And everybody know him as Meek now. You know what I'm saying? So now you chasing the ghost. But of course he dragging us along in it when really he was supposed to stand on his own. And everything we telling you today is what we told him. So it ain't nothing we saying on camera that we didn't speak about to the man himself. You understand what I'm saying? So he kind of dropped the ball on being able to fight for his name. By the time he got around to get it, Meek was rolling, and like I told our Meek, the name didn't make the young Meek.
I was about to say, to keep it real,
you understand what I'm saying? The boy put his work in. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being real. And so you know, he can probably elaborate a little further how he felt at that time.
No, I mean, basically the same way. Like I said, it wasn't really nothing. See, this my thing, and I always say this. Like, it's both sides of how you can feel. Us being probably just being older, you know, we understand how easy it is to move forward faster. You know what I mean? So it's easy for us to say, all right, fuck that name, we got battle with records and all that. But then it's the other side, because I know for a fact Meek ain't still his name. It's two people with the same name. I know it ain't a still. But I'm saying for our Meek, if somebody was, like I said, if it's another Ice, and it is, right now, it don't make me want to go at him, but if it's another Ice, you gonna feel some type of way, and you gonna feel the same way he did. The only thing, the approach just was messed up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can't, as a rapper, especially it's a competitive game, so as a rapper, a man in the music game, you like, fuck that nigga, he stole my name, at the same time when it was just two motherfuckers with the same name. And one, our Meek really was known for Meek, but the other Meek don't know him as Meek. But as time go on, he'll know that it's another Meek out. MMG know it's another Meek. But at that time, he like, it's my name too. So it's really more of a, especially in a situation like that, is who name is it? Y'all, however you battle for, however you go about it, you gotta establish that. Now, as far as with us, we really can't get into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never hate the other Meek because his name Meek. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like that's a battle that our Meek had to handle. And on some real shit, we all real dudes, it's our Meek, so we rocking with you. But the reality is, all right, now you're losing. So fuck the name, let's adjust it a different way because you hot. You know what I mean? You got that Meek throwing out club music hit records. So all you gotta do is do the same thing if that's the case. And we looked at it more like that as time went on instead of a name being taken. You know what I'm saying?
We also looked at it as to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Meek wave was so strong that everybody really turned against us.
No, of course,
we gonna keep that all the way real. It was like, and I understand, like, when you get to a point in age, you can think the whole situation through, so you can see why a person that think he's gonna benefit from this guy is not gonna deal with you. If I deal with you, then that can jeopardize my relationship with the other guy. So, you know, over a name, which wasn't our legacy, we've been doing this since Task Force. That became the whole focal point of our career. So we did take a hit from that. You know what I'm saying? We never stopped making music. We never stopped doing none of those things. And it kind of got to a breaking point when, you know, the movie Streets, I even played in the Streets. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't looking at it as this one against that one thing. You know what I'm saying? We been doing this, we businessmen, and that's what we was handling business. The movie Streets was shot at the very studio that you doing this interview at. And we was able to spend like a whole week with Meek, the MMG Meek, before MMG at that time.
A couple.
And you know, we was able to kind of break the barrier. It was a good vibe and a good bond. But then, like the last day of the movie shoot, our Meek came with 12 goons from the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So when we got wind of what was going on, to make a long story short, I went down there and diffused the situation, stepped in between it, and told my guy, I didn't like the approach. You know what I'm saying? You could have came another way, And you know,
you basically wrong for this.
Yeah,
you wrong.
You know, and as being a big brother to our brother Meek, we gotta stand for what's right. You can't just be rocking and rolling with shit that, you know what I'm saying?
Emotions.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't right. You understand what I'm saying? We wasn't gonna turn our back on it, but the approach wasn't right at that time. And later got to a point where Meek kind of felt, the MMG Meek felt a little uncomfortable because I did have to tell him at that time, you know, he really wasn't being conscious of where he was at. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know it ain't where you from, is where you at. You was in somebody else's backyard. I know you got heart and all that, but our Meek did come with some more ratchet little fucking niggas from the hood that wouldn't mind doing some bullshit. I stepped in between them. You know what I'm saying? And then I told Meek that felt uncomfortable at the time that he wanted to leave. I said, no, well, you can finish the movie shoot, but I'll stay with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. And we was able to create a little bond after that. You know, that he felt that it was organic. And then we had a little incident that happened outside of the Trocadero. You know, that joint kind of went viral online. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's still up. The footage don't never really go nowhere. That went viral online. But, you know, just to kind of clarify that whole situation is that it was a black cloud over us all that time. You know what I'm saying? So we still putting out good music. We still creating good music. But don't nobody really want to touch us because they looking for something monetarily from Meek, who's the young face of the city. You know what I'm saying? So we took a hit from that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
And it was crazy because, like, for years we just, you know, we never said it. We not the type of like, hey, took that. For real, right now, it ain't about, like, I don't give a fuck. It's like no use hiding shit, and it's not disrespect. It's just that I think our history is due. Like, people should know who we are and what we stood for years. And I'm really one of the motherfuckers that always be like, man, just leave it alone. Don't even worry about that.
But
shit.
they need to know, and even the new artists of the city need to know that we was going to New York when they thought Philly rappers couldn't rap. You know what I'm saying? We helped break that barrier. You know what I'm saying? They're going to New York and they like, damn, you kids from Philly? You know what I'm saying?
I ain't from Philly.
Yeah, I ain't from Philly. We sounding like that. We all from Brooklyn? No, we from Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When at that time when we ain't get no respect, and to now be known as the city of the spitters, you know, that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? But all the up and coming artists, and I think that's like something, a bridge that needs to be gapped with, like, the new artists. Sometimes they don't know the history, so they don't respect it. And even when they know, they don't respect it. But we gonna put it out there because we help carry the, you know what I'm saying, carry that legacy.
The best part about it though, you know, we can throw names out there, however you wanna do it. But it's just so many people that can vouch for us. Like we said, we ain't have Instagram and all that shit. And it's hard for us, especially me, I know Sonny, it's hard for me to talk about what the fuck we did. I'd rather somebody else tell you. I'd rather somebody else that know the history the same way I know tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll come from every direction, 1,000 ways, you know, our history. And it's real. I just rather somebody else tell you. But the bridge need to be gapped.
You know, well, we was talking about how y'all, you know, get a couple records that, you know, that Hov had and Mr. Cheeks used and all of that. So that was them basically working out a deal to get the records. But I want to talk about another thing y'all been doing, you know, on some behind the scenes type stuff, ghostwriting. You had a couple ghostwriting, you know, accolades or credits to your name. So speak a little bit on that. A couple people that you worked with, did work for, and stuff like that.
I wrote everybody's shit in Naam and everything. You can go ahead.
Well, I would say we had a classic record we did with Eric Sun. That never came out. It's just like, sometimes I just feel like if some of those records would have came out, our stamp that we deserve would be more concrete. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of the body of work, through tragedies or whatever the case may be, never came out. But on China Doll album, which was Foxy Brown, wrote a record on there. Listen, I'll be lying to you. I can't even remember the title, but I know it was John. I think it was Can You Feel Me, Baby? It was featuring her brother Gavin. With Beans on Beans album. All I Want to Be, Everybody Want to Be a Star. Actually wrote that chorus as well. So yeah, you know it runs deep, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And give me mine. I want the credit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna tell it, I'm gonna tell it.
Like I said, man,
it
there ain't no use holding this shit in.
yeah, man. But like I say, I really just take it as like I find success in it because those records was good records for those artists. You know what I'm saying? Whether nobody else knew, we knew. So, you know, we still put that add that notch to our belt. Period.
You wanna go further back to the youngsters? Remember the
Oh
youngsters?
shit, I forgot about that. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, that's a legendary group from
Right.
That young brother, like Low Brothers, man. We wrote a joint for them too.
And a lot of people forget about them. Those brothers in the Goodman family and all that. They was
underrated,
very instrumental in hip hop. You know what I mean? Karan, big shout out to Karan. That's my bro. We stay in touch from time to time. He's doing good right now. He went on to be a big time producer, produced a lot of records. But as far as fully legendary stamp, I believe that the youngsters don't get it like they supposed to.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Youngsters Task Force, you know, so.
Shout out to our DJ, Kid Chaos.
Oh yeah, big shout out.
Kid Chaos,
Right.
Melvin Lewis. He
Right.
produced the Icon
Yeah.
for Jaden Smith. So shout out to him too. I don't know how many views they got, but it's in the fucking.
Yeah, that John.
Yeah, they
So
don't have.
shout, you know.
Yeah, big shout out. Yeah, he was our DJ when we was Task Force. Rest in peace, Miss Connie. She opened up her house to us, little kids, and just let us rehearse all day. And those days is what helped, you know, define the builders, right? Groom us into who we are today. So much respect to the Lewis family, definitely.
So on that note, you said, man, y'all, Kid Chaos had produced the Icon record for Jaden Smith, which is Will Smith's son.
Right.
And just so happened, y'all got the connection with Charlie Mack, because he was actually
That's brother. That's our brother.
Yeah,
you can't say manager or none of that. Is all brother.
Charlie Mack all around the world, and you know, even like with Meek Mills, you know, he started off with Charlie.
Right.
That whole blueprint was created from us. So even in Meek Mills, even though Meek was hot or whatever the case may be before he got with Charlie, whatever, it still went to another level when he got with Charlie, period. People can say what they want to say. Charlie took that to another level. Yeah. And that's up for debate, but that's
but Charlie always, you know
what I'm saying?
Everybody he dealt with, I mean, he dealt with a lot of people. We talking about back from Boys to Men days.
Right.
Now you know he running around with Yaz, Empire and stuff. So Charlie always
man. And that whole blueprint of what a star is and what he's looking for in an artist was created from us.
We set the standards.
Yeah, we set the standards. And you see what came after us. You know, a lot of great things came after us. So, like I say, we feel success in all of these stories as well.
Right. Alright, so we're in 2018 now. Like you said, y'all still Naam, y'all still a squad, but y'all two just doing y'all thing right now. So what's the state of everybody else? Everybody else still doing music?
Yeah, everybody's still doing music.
Yeah.
You know, wanna be out soon, hopefully. Meek got locked up again. Rambo down Atlanta doing this thing. He getting a new peace of mind for his music creativity and all.
Yeah.
And me and Sonny, we just here working. It's still Naam. It's never gonna be anything different. It's just that the same way to be a solo artist is just two of us, Black Ice. The name is fucking perfect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it just felt new. We needed something fresh for ourselves.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Just to motivate us to move.
Right.
You know,
you got to think about it. When you go through so many valleys in life, ups and downs, and then real life is always going to kick in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Reality is the best. Ain't nobody beat reality yet. You know what I'm saying?
And then another thing, can't nobody fuck with us with music. You can feel this.
Yeah, or shows.
Yeah, none of that.
No, we gonna get that.
That's
clear.
just real.
That's,
I don't give a fuck. You can challenge it all you want.
Clear.
Ain't nobody fuck with us on no music.
And then you gotta remember, we always had to earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We went to places where a person ain't know us from a can of paint, and then by the time we leave, it's an encore. You know what I'm saying? So we had to earn it, and not to knock nobody who ever had a piggyback, but us with a piggyback, where we can walk through doors that's already open because of somebody else. Every door that Naam Task Force ever went through, we had to kick it down.
Get our karate.
You know what I'm saying? We had to kick it down. And that was the blessing I've had in Charlie with so many relationships. You know, Charlie can lead you to the water, but once he gets you there, it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? And we was able to get 3 major record deals. But it's a blessing to do this Black Ice album now and to be independent, because you can move at your own pace. We are our own bosses. You know what I'm saying? We direct to consumer. We can get 100% of our money.
It's crazy how the
You understand what I'm saying? We don't have the pressure of a first week no more. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the pressure of we have to sell this many records. You can build it, you know what I mean, gradually. Like we said, we're gonna build it organically. We ain't gonna get out here doing nothing foolish, discrediting ourselves or nobody else. You know what I'm saying? To try to get some likes. We ain't like whores. You know what I'm saying? We ain't attention whores. We just gonna we gonna stick to the music part of it. And we're gonna open up our chapter in our book for people to be able to get to know us a little more. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from the era that we came from, you was more closed in. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really let people know much. The only time you really showed who you was performing. Now, nowadays, a lot of people had a side show, as we say. They got a whole lot of side shit going on, you know, that brings attention to them. But at the end of the day, it's always going to come back to the music.
To the music.
Always going to come back to the music. And that's what we are great at. And we always concentrated on that.
So y'all said it's on all streaming, you know, every platform that people get music these days. You can find a new album there.
You name it, it's there.
The Black Ice album. BLAKEYSE album. The Black Ice album.
A diverse album. We're going to take you through some volleys on there. We're going to give you street. We're going to give you love. We're going to give you pain. And we're going to give you real. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
So plug y'all, you know, social media, whatever you can find y'all at. I mean, stay in contact, stay updated what y'all doing.
You can look at any TV channel and find me. Like, I'm Ice Super, I'm like every fucking way. But Ice Super, EYSEDASUPA on Instagram. You know, fuck with me on there. I got a lot of shit I'm about to turn up on there too. And I want my Black Ice Challenge. The Black Ice Challenge is put y'all records up against us. It ain't no love. I just want to hear it. I want to hear some records that make me be like, God damn, I gotta get in the lap. Yeah, that, you know what I mean? I ain't hearing shit like that, but you can go and get this shit.
Well, I'm S.BLAK_ on the gram. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just follow us on there. Make sure you check out that album, F.A.M.E TV. We definitely appreciate
F.A.M E. Shout out to Chop.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the PR need real exposure.
Right.
She got us on some shit.
Right.
She done woke us the fuck. She done forced us to do interviews and all this shit.
Right.
And now we here.
And
I fucks with it.
Right. And that's a blessing because, you know, these are the things that we know we have to do, but she making sure that we do it. So
right.
That's what's up. BB and Chop.
Yeah.
Right.
And before we sign out, you know, we live from your studio right now. You know, and prior to me coming in, I see y'all driving something nice outside. I mean, just to let the people know, like, y'all been around for a minute, but y'all ain't end up like a lot of the people did. Like, we keep it real about that. Like, y'all was able to sustain, I mean, and do well for yourselves to be driving what y'all driving. I mean, so, you know, talk to people a little bit about that.
I mean, they already know that with me. I don't really talk about it. He don't really talk. Matter of fact, since we don't talk about, I'm gonna talk about what you got. Right, my man said he got a fucking hot ass fucking Mozzie out there. You know what I mean? That it got toilet paper in the back because it's shitting on shit. So you gotta keep toilet paper, big ass roll. And I fuck with it. But they ain't no one to talk about. This is on fun shit. We don't do this sideshow shit.
Yeah, but
that's decent.
So my man got the big boy motherfucking Jag. You know what I'm saying? He had a Jag before that and it had kittens.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? The Jag had kittens. But look, you know what I'm talking about? The new baby, the new pup out there, so you know.
And that's funny. Don't even do that is some funny shit. I like how you did that though. That's
Yeah.
decent because it make it seem like we ain't talking that shit. But fuck that. You work hard for you get the shit.
No, but
It
you
ain't
gotta
like-
understand though, a lot of rappers from your era, not just your era, but mainly your era, because that was one of the beginning parts of it.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. This is on some real shit. See, fuck the music game. You can't really get your music and none of that shit together if you don't get your shit
You
together.
gotta get life together.
Get life together.
Especially
Now-
for people that have been doing it for a long
Right.
time. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
all it's about. It ain't
You know?
fuck them cars.
Hey, look.
Like it ain't about them cars. The main thing is for you to feel healthy. How do you feel?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's people with cars and shit that still they ain't shit. That's sad and fucked up and everything. How do you feel? Make sure you feel like how you want to feel. That's what it's about. But
Yeah,
that
right.
is what decent how you do the cars.
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling any young boy, work for that shit. Work hard. That's where it come from. Fuck that.
We can get it, you can get it. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Well, I got 3 of them.
Black ice.
Outta
That
here.
motherfucking album is what it's supposed to be. We living up to whatever expectations we have. Back to the one, man.
I don't know. I don't